who have the most certainty that what Allah has in store for them is something they have never imagined, and they are 100% certain it's coming, when they are presented with some temporary temptation, a van drives by, somebody sticks a stick of weed from the window. Would you like to try some? They're at work, they're at school, they're on social media. Somebody they're fancying DMs them. Somebody offers them a get-rich-quick scheme, crypto, Dogecoin, some weird, dodgy money-making scheme. When they are given a temptation, they think immediately, is this worth losing what is with Allah? Is this worth losing my paradise? Is this worth losing, what will I say when I stand in front of Allah? And immediately it all disappears. It evaporates immediately in front of their eyes. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about as-sabirin in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala famously says, وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. Have sabr, ask Allah's help through sabr and salah, and you will find sabr and salah very difficult, except for whom? People who have khushu'. Okay, who's that? الَّذِينَ يَظُنُّونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُلَاقُو رَبِّهِمْ وَأَنَّهُمْ إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. If you want to have sabr, you need to be somebody who is certain that you're going to meet Allah and you're going to come back to Him. Watch how you say no to the next marshmallow, the next temptation, the next time Fajr is difficult. It's remembering and recalling, what am I going to lose out or what am I going to gain after I pass away? The strength of your certainty will determine the strength of your sabr. Your ability to take a difficult marriage, your ability to take a difficult financial situation, your ability to sit and memorize Quran, memorize hadith, sit in the same spot every day, day after day, day after day, day after day. What's going to push you? Watching a David Goggins video of him running or doing 1,000 pull-ups? No, absolutely not. What's going to push you is only one thing, is remembering what will happen when I meet Allah. And the more frequently you remember this, you will find that sabr comes very naturally to you. You don't need a coach, special book, Tony Robbins course, walk on. No nonsense like this. You need to be deeply certain about what Allah has in store for you. This is the secret to sabr. And the Quran is filled with examples of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminding the believers that if you have this yaqeen, this certainty in the afterlife, I will gift you sabr free. Here you go. وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا لَمَّا صَبَرُوا وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. Allah says, I made them leaders when they had sabr. So one of the important points is, you can never possess any form of leadership unless you have sabr as a core quality. How did they reach sabr? What's the secret? وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. They were 100% certain in all of my ayat. Everything I told them, they know it's going to happen. So they live as though they can see the Day of Judgment before their eyes. And so their whole life is very different to your life and my life. Now, how do you develop sabr? Step 1, uninstall TikTok. Step 2, uninstall Instagram. Step 3, uninstall Facebook. Anything else, brothers? Step 4, uninstall Snapchat. Deactivate all of your accounts for 40 days. Don't say, he said this. Okay, 39 days, adi. 5 days, you choose a day, habibi. Pick it out of a, or they will say that's also a problem. Right, pick a number from thin air, no problem. But you first step, get rid of all your social media accounts. Wallahi, nothing will happen in your life. Your life will continue. I could say uninstall WhatsApp, but then there will be slippers and sandals being thrown at me. So I know where the red line is. We will not say anything about WhatsApp, but you can uninstall Telegram, inshallah, no problem. First step, you have to get rid of everything that you know is breaking your attention span. Step 2, if you have an iPhone, in your settings, there's something called focus time, where you can remove your access to all of your apps, except for 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. Set up focus time. Certain hours a day, I can't access my phone. I can't access these apps. I can call, I can text, but I can't access my other apps. I can access these apps only for a certain limit, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, no problem. Build some discipline into the device that you know and I know, that we are on average spending 6 hours a day on this device. This is the first thing. Step 1. Step 2, look for a program or an environment that will build sabr into your system. The Prophet ﷺ said, وَمَنْ يَتَصَبَّرْ يُصْبِرُهُ اللَّهُ. Whoever tries to have sabr, Allah will give it to them. Okay. How is this? This is the idea for you guys. Anybody wants to make this idea? بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ لَكَ الْجَنَّةِ. The Prophet ﷺ said, when he saw Ammar ibn Yasir being tortured in the early days of Mecca, he said, صَبْرًا آلَ يَاسِرَ فَإِنَّ مَوْعِدَكُمُ الْجَنَّةِ. Just to my previous point, have sabr, family of Yasir, the first martyrs in the cause of Allah. Because if you have sabr through this, I promise you paradise. If you can't look forward to that, forget about sabr. Now, what is the idea? Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, may Allah have mercy on him. One of the brilliant strategies of Salahuddin al-Ayyubi is that in the Ayyubid dynasty, he set up almost 500 physical buildings, physical premises, which was called the Zawiyah. What is the Zawiyah? It was a mixture of a place where you could learn military skills as well as worship. So let's say you signed up to the Zawiyah today. MashaAllah, Ahmed, you signed up to? Okay, good. Tomorrow, 4 a.m., everybody has to be downstairs. Why? 4 a.m., tahajjud. Anybody missing? You're out. Tahajjud. Then Fajr. Then Adhkar. Then after that, military drills begin. Push-ups, pull-ups, I don't know what they used to do, yeah? Sword craft, archery, continues, 11 o'clock, okay, everybody, qaylula. A regimented plan, a system. If you sign up to this place in 6 months, a year, 3 years, it's not possible for you to come out except you have built sabr into your system by force, by external environment. Now, in the UK, we don't have these kind of environments. The closest thing I can think of is Muslim Scouts, where they take children into nature and they try and teach them these skills. But it's something that somebody has to build. Either a boarding school or an environment where young people or old people, or middle, anybody can come and sign up. But the idea is for 24 hours, for 3 days, for 1 week, for the length of this program, you have to adhere to this schedule. And when you enter the door, we're going to take your smartphone and give you a Nokia. 1 week, 10 days, 30 days, however long, until you build the skill, ability to have sabr, we're going to keep you here. This is something that Salahuddin al-Ayyubi invested in. He invested in hundreds and hundreds of them throughout his empire to build a generation of young people that were militarily strong, and at the same time, they had the discipline in worship. Another important practical point, especially for young men, but men, women both, but especially for young men, is the importance of martial arts. The importance of martial arts. I think I was probably 5 years old, my mother first enrolled me in martial arts, and I continued for a very long time. Unfortunately, it's been a few years for me. But something I highly recommend for young men, especially for young men, but for all people, is to learn and master one of the martial arts. Why? It teaches you discipline, it teaches you respect, and it teaches you physical strength. These are very, very key. And once you get into that habit, and once you get into that discipline of training, of reporting to your teacher, of coming on time, etc., it's something that you can never let go of. A third option is signing up to memorize the Quran at Masjid al-Furqan on Mondays and Wednesdays? Mondays and Wednesdays, what time? 8:15 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. Is one of the experiences in your life that it's not possible for you to start except that you will either build sabr or you will realize you have the attention span of a goldfish. One of two things will happen. Is memorization of the Quran. Many people give themselves excuses. I'm too old, my memory is weak, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't know where to start, I'm not good enough. 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I was sitting here in the front row waiting for Salah. And there was an uncle sitting in front of me, and he was reading Bulughul Maram, hadith number 672. And he's reading the same hadith again and again and again and again loudly. Thinking, what's uncle doing? I said, uncle, what are you doing? He said, I'm trying to memorize. Uncle, what? He said, I'm 78 years old, but I'm not dead yet. This book, Bulugh al-Maram, has over 1,000 hadith. I'm going to memorize it. I said, uncle, 78 years old. You're memorizing Bulugh al-Maram. And my man who's 17 years old is playing Fortnite and Roblox. Yeah, and watching Netflix. Yeah. It can be done. What do you need? You need the himmah. You need the desire. I want to achieve this. Anybody here can memorize the Quran. Anybody. What does it require? It requires sabr. You sign up to a program, to a course. You pay for a teacher. One thing I never recommend is to do hifth, memorization of the Quran on your own. You need a partner. You need a teacher. You need a program. It builds accountability. Someone is there who's going to ask you, where's your memorization? And over 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4. The tricky thing about memorizing the Quran is that once you've memorized it, the discipline never stops. You have to revise it every day. So it builds discipline into your life. It builds discipline into your life. You cannot go a day without your revision. Otherwise you start to forget. So one of the greatest hacks, if you're not going to build a zawiyah, a special military school, you're not going to join martial arts, you're not going to do X, Y, is start the journey of memorizing the Quran. You and your family. And watch how you see sabr, it gets installed into your system and your family system by nature. By nature of you staying persistent with this deed. At the end of Surah Ali Imran, at the end of Surah Ali Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اصبروا وصابروا ورابطوا واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون. O believers, have sabr in yourself, have sabr mutually together, sabiru, warabitu, and fight, and fear, be conscious of Allah so that you may be successful. One of the most important parts of developing sabr is having accountability. Having somebody hold you to account. Very simple thing. Let's say you don't have the sabr to pray Fajr, or you don't have the sabr to pray Fajr in the masjid. Very simple. Ask a friend to call you every day at Fajr time. Someone you know has already mastered it. Ask somebody else to hold you to account. Or tell somebody you respect, a teacher, a senior to you, I'll meet you at the masjid at 6 a.m. Now the whole night you're worried, I don't want to miss my alarm. I cannot snooze. Why? If I don't fear Allah, at least I'm worried about this person who's waiting for me in the masjid. I don't want to embarrass myself. So see how you can create systems of accountability to help you build your sabr. Anybody who tries abandoning social media for a period of time will find that there's somehow 5 extra hours in the day than they imagined before. You know, when you enter an aeroplane, you see everybody glazed looking at screens, watching movie. They wait the whole year to come on a flight so they can watch all the latest movies. 1, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Yeah? I know people, from them, Ustad Jamal Abdel Nasser, who frequently teaches in this masjid, my beloved brother and my good friend, may Allah bless him and protect him, who has done a khatma of the entire Quran on a flight. Him and Sheikh Abdul Rashid al-Sufi. Sitting in the aeroplane, while everybody else is catching up on the last 8 seasons of what they missed, they've done a khatma of the entire Quran. What does it take? It takes the desire for that which is waiting for you in the afterlife. Let me talk a little bit about saying no to temptation. You guys tell me, why is it so difficult to say no to temptations in today's day and age? Why is it so difficult to say no? Why so many people fallen into it? Yes, it's everywhere. It's a level of frequency that it's unprecedented in the human race. It's so desirable and nobody can be patient to wait all the way to the hereafter. It's become normalized. It's normal, adi. It's nothing special. Yes?
Because of social media,
Yeah.
these things, when it gives you the quick hits of dopamine, you end up needing more because you're over-tolerant. So then you just have to keep going and overindulging in things that are just not correct to indulge in all, really.
He's saying social media gives you these quick hits of dopamine. It makes you excited, happy every time you check it. You need more and you need more and you need more. It's never enough until you get to the situation where you need something much worse. There's one very important thing about sabr. Just as sabr is built gradually through the right environment, the right teachers, through good accountability, through desiring the afterlife, and reminding and remembering and reflecting and being certain in what Allah has promised you, just as sabr is developed gradually in this way, you can lose it gradually as well, slowly and surely. One of the most important points in terms of being able to say no to what tempts you is having a way to constantly remember and remind yourself of the fear of Allah and His consequences. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. Whoever fears their Lord's punishment will have two gardens. When Allah talks about the fire, the hellfire in the Quran, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the punishment that He has promised the people of the fire, إِنَّ شَجَرَةَ الزَّقُّومِ طَعَامُ الْأَثِيمِ. In the fire there is a tree called zaqqum. This is the food of those who are in the fire. كَالْمُهْلِ يَغْلِي فِي الْبُطُونِ. People will eat from it and their stomach, the intestines will come out due to the pain and the spikes on this tree and the pus and the blood and the heat of the fire. كَغَلْيِ الْحَمِيمِ خُذُوهُ فَاعْتِلُوهُ إِلَى سَوَاءِ الْجَحِيمِ. Allah reminds us of these visions. He wants you to graphically envisage what is waiting for the people of the fire, because this is the only way for you to look at something delicious and say, no, it's not worth it for me because of what Allah has prepared for me. The other thing Ibn Qayyim mentions is having haya, having a bit of shame in front of Allah. And I've talked about this before. Remembering the blessings Allah has given you to remind you, how can I indulge in this? How can I get involved in something like this? One of the most influential parts of saying no to something tempting is having and keeping close with good company. I often say, if you're going to be on your own and being on your own is bad for you, it's better you are with somebody else. Oftentimes today, we don't have the routine of being around good company. Good company takes effort. Many people think having good friends is automatic. Yes, maybe in primary school, but after a certain age, you have to make an effort to see people, to visit them, to call them up, to check on them, to gift them, to go out with them. You have to develop these relationships. If you don't develop the relationships, the good company, it's very, very likely you will lose them, and you'll lose one of the greatest forms of sabr, which is al-musabara, having good companionship. When we look at the masjid al-Furqan, this masjid that we are part of here today, there are a group of people who come here for jama'ah, for congregational prayer multiple times a day, and over the months and years they became friends. They got to know each other. These are the Ahlul Masjid. These people, I'm familiar faces. Maybe they visit each other. Maybe one day they say, you know what, why don't we become Quran revision partners? Why don't we become memorization partners? Why don't we embark on this journey together? They have common goals, they go on together. This is something very important. If you want to develop sabr, don't leave yourself to yourself. Find a companion where you can go on the journey of developing sabr together. There's a lot to say about sabr, and there's very little time. Salatul Isha. Salatul Isha is in, Sah Shaykhna? Salatul Isha is in. So, inshallah, with that, we will call it a day. To summarize everything I've mentioned: procrastination, distraction, temptation, emotional fragility, lack of willpower, lack of strength. All of these is describing a world where sabr is completely lacking. How does a person develop sabr? What I've focused on so far, there's three forms of sabr I've said. One is discipline to continue good deeds. The other one is the ability, willpower to say no to temptations. And the third one is contentment with the decree of Allah. I didn't talk about contentment too much because we spoke about it in detail last session. But what are the ways in which you can develop sabr? Maybe you guys can remind me, what did I say? And we can close the lesson, inshallah. Who can remember? What are the practical ways to build sabr? Self-control, but that's the definition of sabr. How do you build it? Number one, deactivate social media, at least for a month. Give it a go. You will never regret it, trust me. Okay, what next? Yes. Having accountability. Having somebody, a friend, a partner, a program, a teacher, somebody who will hold you accountable for something every day, every week, every month. Yes. Embark on the journey of memorizing the Quran. Trust me, you will never regret it, and you will prove to yourself that you have sabr. It will force you to develop sabr. Yes, what else? Good company. What else? Remember the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What else? Train martial arts, absolutely. Master, become a master. Don't just become a novice. Yes, what else? Having haya, remembering the favors Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. What else? Sorry? If you can't be alone, don't be alone. If being alone is going to be bad for you, just be here in the masjid. Come here. Most of the time it's open. This environment is much better for you than being alone at home in your bedroom on the phone. Trust me. Yes, this is the number one way to develop sabr. وَاصْبِرْ وَمَا صَبْرُكَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. You will never have sabr until your love for what Allah has in store for you and your certainty in the afterlife and in His rewards is far greater than your love for a temporary pleasure in this world. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم بارك الله فيكم.